Hey guys, Tim and Adam here, and we want to welcome you back to Flipperflix. You guys know how much Tim loves his foods, and he got to try a new one recently called 3 Wishes.
Yup. Breakfast being my favorite meal, I was excited to try this new cereal out. It's high in protein, low in sugar, and grain-free.
I thought I saw that 3 Wishes is free from wheat, dairy, soy, oats, corn, rice, and peanuts.
That's right. It's plant-based and gluten-free certified, made with modern-day clean ingredients like chickpeas, pea protein, and tapioca.
Well, that sounds like a feat of food science.
One that took 2 years to develop.
Incredible! So what flavor of these 3 Wishes did you devour, Tim? I saw they had cocoa, cinnamon, honey, and unsweetened.
I went with cocoa, and it was delicious.
With 70% less sugar and as much as 8 times the protein of their decadent counterparts, there can't be anything like this on the shelf right now.
And there isn't. 3 Wishes is now offering our listeners 10% off with the code PODCAST10.
So head to their website at www.3wishescereal.com to learn more.
We hope you enjoy this episode.
Okay, this is the Earth round? That's a nice Earth you got there. Wouldn't it be awful if nuclear winter happened?
Oh.
That was my intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, guys.
I decided to give you the treatment you give me.
Yeah.
And just nothing.
Running low on energy. That's all I got. Tim, go to the social media. Who are we?
I think we're all tired at the moment, but for different reasons. Because it took me a minute there. I am Tim, and we are on social media.
Flipperflix.
I'm like half reading this off of what I am. I was not making a sentence there. Yes, we're Flipperflix, and we're on Instagram and Twitter at Flipperflix, because that's the easiest way to do it. Is use your name and with the @ symbol.
It helps when nobody else had it, too.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
does help. It does help. You can find us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, various other platforms. If you want us on a different one, you can request it. We can try. I don't know why you would.
We'll do our best. I can't make all promises.
Right. We do have a website. It's flipperflix.wixsite.com/home, or click on the link on Instagram. That seems to be the easiest way. We post episodes every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Except this one.
Except this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's coming out on Saturday.
Yeah, it's okay. There's reasons for that. But sure, I will pass the keys over to Sam.
Yes, Sam.
Well, if you didn't know, we are a movie review podcast.
I didn't know. I had.
It's like both
Wait,
Adam and
honest
Tim
with
did
you.
not know that.
What?
Apparently.
I thought we were book club.
Nah, you guys can't read no good.
I
is
read
true.
all right.
Hey, listen. I listen to audiobooks, and they say you get just as much out of them as reading an actual book, and I thoroughly believe that. Okay.
Hey, and my books have pictures in them.
I love
There
it.
you
I
go.
color mine.
Oh, you do? I haven't done that one yet.
I
Just say
can't.
what movie
I
we
can't
watched.
with you guys.
I was waiting for it.
So, this week we went to the Beaufort Film Festival, which is exciting. Woo.
Woo.
And we wanted to do one of the features that was shown there. And so we picked Night and Today because that one's available on Amazon Prime. And we wanted to make sure that, like, everybody could watch it along with us. Because, like, while it's exciting and we could tell you about these great movies that we saw,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd feel really terrible if we went on for an hour and you couldn't watch them. So I'm really excited that this one's available so that everybody can, listen to our take on it, get jazzed about it, and then go watch it. And or you already watched it and you're here and you're like, I love this film. So, yeah.
I'm glad other people watched it, sort of deal.
Yeah, exactly. So it's on Amazon Prime, as I said. And the synopsis is: James and Katie Shaw, a couple in the middle of a divorce, are caught together on the outskirts of a nuclear attack in Los Angeles. With chaos reigning outside and the threat of nuclear fallout, the two decide to stay put inside their damaged apartment and wait for rescue, only to be antagonized by outside forces. So I realized that that's like one of the longer synopsises we've read.
Yes.
But it's from the booklet, so I felt like I needed to read that
yeah,
one
we
because
needed to do
I
the one that they gave us.
yeah, I assume that's the one they submitted. So
Yeah, now it makes sense why I did End of the World.
Yeah, no, it made sense.
No,
the whole
yeah,
time.
I got that.
We just wanted to give you shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bye. Bye.
So,
Have a good day.
I think I kind of already told you why we watched this movie.
Wait, why did we watch this movie?
Just because we went to the film festival. And so, yeah, I guess we can go into expectations from there. Do you want me to start? Do you want to?
I'll go.
Start? Okay.
Go right
So
ahead.
this was our fourth feature. Like, they had 4 big featured films. We had Electric Jesus, we had Shot Through the Wall, and then One Moment, and then this one. And I was like, the first 3 were like, oh, these are all solid films. I'm excited for this. I also was expecting like a large horde of people trying to break in. I don't know why. Just it says outside forces, which is
Right.
plural.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
So when I first sat down and went to go watch it, I was like, okay, here we go. When's the military? Not the military. The crazy people coming in, right?
Mhm.
So that I was excited for that, and like it's just fun, a fun new take. I've not seen a movie that sits them in a single place like this in a while.
Yeah.
How about you, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I was pumped.
Yeah.
Did you say my name or Tim's name?
We're gonna let you guys figure that. It was Sam.
Yeah.
I
he
thought
did
so,
say-
but then he was like side eyeing me, and I was like, "Shit, did I just open it at the wrong time?" Like,
Did I just get Tim's?
well, you know the 3-letter names. Like,
Right.
I don't know.
yeah.
Sometimes he'll say Tim, and I'm like, "Did he just say my name?" So it does get a little bit confusing. But anywho, I was excited to watch this one because I mean, we had read the synopsis when we were trying to figure out which movie to pick to do, and this one like jumped out at me because I thought it was a really realistic situation. Really realistic. Wow, I talk real good. Because I think that it's super easy. Like, I don't know. I just think it would be really normal to have something happen and you're stuck in your apartment and then, you know, like, fuck. And then the fact that somebody could be stuck there with you that was there for some purpose and then, like, they somehow ended up there because they couldn't leave. Like, I don't know. It just all seemed very familiar to me and, like, something that would happen. And I don't know. I was just pumped because I was excited that it sounded like it was only going to take place in the apartment. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that can kind of, like, really set the tone for a movie. And I think it could be fun to just have, like, one location and it's super intense in that location. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just droned on. But I was pumped.
Mhm, mhm.
Tim?
Yes.
Yes, quite. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Mhm.
Yes.
You know, I don't know. I thought it was a weird idea. I read it and I was like, well, how are they going to pull this off?
Yeah.
I was like, this is interesting. It's not one that I can recall ever, like, I don't know.
I've not
It
seen
just
something
seemed
like
it was
it.
like way out there, right? It's not like something that was like different. It was like way out there. Like the
Yeah.
whole they're stuck together and it was a bombing, you know what I mean? Like it's not like a I don't know, it's just
Like
kind
a
of
zombie
strange.
flick or
Yeah, it's not
something.
something
Yeah.
where like something happens and they're stuck there. It's like a bombing, like something massive and it's to
Yep.
me like thinking about it, it's like in that situation, I don't know, that's kind of a crazy scenario. So I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
this,
to,
I
like,
wonder how
think
they're gonna
through.
pull this off. So I was in from the get go. I can't say I was like super excited because I also was ready for it to just let me down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was
Sometimes
like,
it's
how
best
are
to
they
go in
gonna
a
pull it
movie
off?
that way.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's where I was at.
I know that, like, you always groan about love stories, too, so...
Tim? Love stories?
The fact that, like, there was a potential love element, too, and it wasn't, like, 2 buddies stuck in there, I was
Right.
like, ooh. Like, I think I remember telling you, I was, like, super jazzed telling you that we picked this one, and you're like, so it's a love story? And I was like, there's more to it!
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually watched a film similar to this.
Did we?
Well, we watched half of a film. I don't know what happened. I think it was a Korean zombie movie. This guy was stuck
I
in
know what
his
you're talking
apartment.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I started that and
Same.
Same.
I turned it off for some reason. I don't remember why. It wasn't because I didn't want to watch it.
I was into it.
Yeah,
I just don't remember why.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember the
Yeah.
name of it though.
But yeah, I kind of got similar vibes from that and this.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
The only difference is, they don't have electricity, and he did.
Right.
Yeah, well, his was a more traditional apocalyptic, like, zombie situation, which, like, if you're gonna be, we kind of talked about this already, but if you're gonna be confined in a space for a movie, it's usually, like, there's an outbreak, right? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I can't even think about another, it's almost always an outbreak. So, the fact that it's, like, a different sort of end of end is fresh. And then I think just when I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead in the film, like the opening when they're watching the news and everybody's like evacuating and like she's still expecting to go home. At this point you've seen their love story fall apart, and so she's like, I'm gonna go back to Wisconsin, and like he's coming over, her divorcee.
Yeah.
And he's like watching the TV, like, the flights are gonna get grounded, right?
Right.
But I think like
not.
yeah, it's like in LA, it's like, I mean, I don't live there, but you know what I mean? Like if you live in a major city, it's like, well, they might get grounded for a little bit, but my flight will probably go out. You know what I mean? Like I think you can see all this crazy stuff on the news, because like for hurricanes, which they do kind of talk about this in the film at one point, but like everybody goes batshit crazy and evacuates for hurricanes.
They do.
Like super early and like
or at the very last second. There's not much in between.
So I thought like the news footage and all of that, like that was totally on the money of what I think would happen. And then the fact that they're all on the parking, like the whole freeway's a parking lot.
I'm pretty sure that's just like Thanksgiving Day traffic. Like they pulled that from that.
Probably.
Because like I've seen like pictures of the freeway in LA on Thanksgiving, and it's just a parking lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just never want to go there. At least not. I don't know. I feel like I should go to LA at some point, but seeing the traffic really does not make me want to be like, yes, let's go tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it's crappy. Yeah.
yeah, because you went for a convention once, right?
But, yeah. To your point though, how there's no like middle ground usually for like emergencies like this, they did a really good job of like showing that, I guess, because he was like super like and she was kind of just like meh, you know what I mean? Like she was like, it's nothing, it like it's whatever, but she was kind of on the mindset that nothing's like that's gonna happen to us. Like, I mean, I'm just speaking as like the US, I guess. I'm just like, there's a lot of people that think that way. It's like, nothing will ever happen to us kind of situation.
We'll be fine. It's us.
Yeah, and he's like, no, this is serious.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, man, I'm going to be flying. Flappy Bird away.
Yeah. Well, and the other part that I thought was realistic was a little bit further in, like, when the nuclear bomb has hit and they've figured out that it's radiation poisoning. Yeah. And he's like, you got to gather all the supplies. And I feel like a lot of movies, they miraculously have, like, a week's worth of shit. Or, like,
they have a go-bag.
They just went grocery shopping. Like...
Yeah, exactly. Like, this girl is leaving on a trip, and so the fact that she only has frozen food totally makes sense.
Yeah.
The fact that she probably doesn't have a lot of bottled water, again, makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, there are people that, like, live for it and don't live for it. So, I don't know. I just thought that was a great little detail that was well executed, because... Yeah. I hate when they, like, I don't know, they just have everything they magically need.
Yeah, and, like, when it first goes off, Sam and I had this discussion after we watched it, because, I'm going to be honest, we're going to be a little scatterbrained today. We don't have notes.
Yeah.
written down.
Yeah.
So we're doing this all based on memory. Normally we have a page worth of, like, random thoughts.
Right, yeah.
But, so, Sam was like, I think it's a little crazy that this girl knows about, like, what to do with radiation. And I was like, oh, no, like, I know some stuff. You know, that Chernobyl show that we watched.
Right. Well, she's also a nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And radiation, I just don't think happens enough. I don't know how much training you get on radiation from nursing. Right?
I honestly, I feel like they do get a fair amount. Not that I know, but I feel like, there's always that off chance, or like, for instance, I know of hospitals that have radioactive material in them.
Okay.
And that's usually like for testing and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was believable to me.
Okay.
That was very
believable. I thought so too.
But I think it was also a good job of showing that she didn't really know a ton about it. She just had a touch of it. She like kind of had an idea of it.
Yeah, that's Sam was saying that too.
Yeah, like I thought that was really good that they showed like in a crisis she thought of something and they did it, and then later on, because I wrote this down, I was like, she. So the guy in the hallway, she's like, was he sunburned earlier? And my first thought about them going back or whatever was like, well, if he's sunburnt from if that's radiation poisoning, they all have it. I mean, I was like, there's no way everyone there has it. It doesn't matter. And she like wanted to go back, lock down, tape up the windows and stuff. I'm like, that's not how radiation works. Like you're kind of, but then later on she like realizes what she said was pretty much wrong, and I thought that was really good that they kind of like went back on it because it kind of made her more, I want to say
believable
human.
as a human.
Yeah,
It humanized her.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like the movie making shit up, kind of like it.
She
just
wasn't
felt
a super
real.
nurse.
Yeah, yeah. She didn't. She wasn't like a a veterinarian doing
Always
surgeries
vets,
on
man.
aliens and shit.
Yeah.
Always vets.
So
Always.
yeah. But
Well, and like when they threw the Artemis dude in the closet, I was like, yeah, that's the one thing I remember specifically from Chernobyl was they weren't allowed to touch the fire department. Was firemen, right, Sam?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
If you touched them, you could get radiation poisoning from them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
once they were in the hospital and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, this dude's just chilling in here. He's got scars all over him. You guys are boned.
yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. It's like at that point, that guy's hopeless. Like, it sucks that they like in that situation. I don't know. I would not be trying to help that person because you're only hurting yourself and other people around you by not
I
isolating.
think it was a
them,
nurse thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it was good again. Yeah, maybe the nurse thing of showing compassion.
Like
or
you
whatever.
wanting to help.
Yeah, they wanted to help him, but there was nothing they could do. But they knew like there was a massive disaster, so maybe that's the thing they could control. But it was a good, just different aspect of the movie because I didn't expect that. Like outside forces, I didn't expect it to be some dude breaking in and trying to steal shit, and then all of a sudden he's like sick. Like I figured, they were all gonna slowly get sick and stuff, and I don't know, or like so there'd be a big raid, or I don't really know what I expected, but it wasn't that. But that that was
like
good.
he steals his shit, then leaves. sort of
Right?
deal.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that was brilliant. Yeah.
I am gonna be honest. When he comes around the corner, like they think he leaves, and he
Right.
comes around the corner. I'm like, I actually was like, fuck, like in my head because
Right.
I decided not to curse out really loud to everybody, but. Yeah, I was surprised. I was happy to see. Like, I was happy to be surprised. Okay.
Yeah.
Normally, I can predict. I annoyingly try and predict films.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a thing, Tim. I think you have the
Yeah,
same
it
problem
is.
as me.
It's- yeah.
I'm like,
And
oh, I gotta
call
think about what
bullshit
can
a
happen
lot,
next.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, to your point, I like that it wasn't a classic, like, jump scare. You
Right.
know? Like, he went and hid, yes, but, like, the tension of, like, him blurred in the background and you can see, like, the closet opening and, like, I still remember that. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
So
you're like,
I guess I'm just getting to like think about this, and I think this movie just touches on reality very well,
mm-hmm.
and like how people probably would actually react in this situation.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it more, I watched this a couple days ago. I have notes and stuff, unlike you guys, but
Oh, well, look
Not
at
a-
you.
not a
I'm
lot.
just kidding.
Look at Tim with this fancy notes.
not a lot though. But like, cause now I'm like thinking about more of the stuff, and like at the time I was like, yeah, that makes sense, yeah. But now I'm like, that's more realistic than I thought originally, because like they go and they hide, right? And the
Yeah.
dude, like, I'm pretty sure he knew they were trying to show that he knew they were in there. Like, he
Yeah.
didn't go into that room because he didn't want to get into a fight. He knew they were there. He was trying to find the path of least resistance, which seems pretty realistic to me. Because he pretends to leave, and they're like, okay, he's gone, and then bam, he's there.
Yeah.
Like, that seems realistic to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like burglars aren't trying to fight people, or looters in this case, because
In this
I wouldn't
case,
say he's a
absolutely.
burglar.
Like, yeah.
He just wants to steal his shit and get out.
Right.
Yeah.
He grabbed the laptop and I'm like, bro, no electricity.
Well, still,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
It's
you never know. I mean, it might have been the first just computer you could find, and
Yeah, I
Might be able
know.
to find power somewhere, but seems like and again, in the situation, in a crisis situation, it was something to grab that
Yep.
could be useful later. I don't.
Yeah. And I was thinking that too, like, it was an Apple laptop, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're thinking short term, like, you don't know what's happening and you're like, oh, I'm just looking to grab something that I can, like,
So,
pawn later, like an Apple laptop.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, that's
Mac
gonna
would
get you
sell-
some good.
Yeah.
And it's
some
like
point.
it's a laptop, it's portable. Like it's not like
Right.
I don't know. Not that I mean I don't know that I've actually seen a lot of looters in movies, but I don't know. It seems like they always like hit the stores and grab like a bunch of big shit, and it's like, where are you gonna put all that?
yeah.
Right.
They're like grabbing the TVs, and you're like, hey, yeah, I'm just gonna carry this TV down to the Kmart and try and pawn it off to the guy there.
Yeah, but what I did love about like the reaction to the crisis, again, another realistic part was like kind of what we were talking about. She wasn't like confident in her answers, and when they first get back from seeing the guy and they like realize that it's radiation, I think she like flops on the bed and like is just like, don't talk to me, because like at that point they
Yeah.
weren't like, they still were in separate headspaces and like they didn't really like each other, right? They've decided to get a
Right.
divorce, and like he's kind of like pushing her to make decisions, and like, you know, obviously they didn't have the greatest communication.
What?
So
No.
like, you know, they're working through that, and so the fact that she just like flops on the bed and is like, leave me alone, I was like, yeah, that's
Sam's like, I relate. And I'm like,
yeah, like I would just need some time to just be like, holy shit, okay, what is happening? So yeah, I thought that was very real.
Yeah.
they were like, he's like, should we stay or should we go? Well, we can't stay here. Oh, we should go then. Well, we can't go out there. Okay, listen, Linda,
Yeah.
listen. You're gonna have to pick one.
Literally had these conversations before.
With us?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm hungry. Well, we don't have food in the house. Well, I don't want to go out and get food. Well, what do you expect? How are we gonna get food?
There's like this total indecisiveness that like plays itself out. So I don't know.
It was well done there.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
But yeah, and like their issues weren't just the communications. She was thirsting for some other dudes, and he
Yeah.
had a gambling problem.
Yeah. Well, and I will say that I like that it wasn't
Strictly.
It
just
wasn't
cheating.
strictly a cheating problem, because I feel like that's what everybody falls back on. Like,
Right. Like
you're newly
it's
married
easy,
and
yeah.
yeah, you still want to like sow your wild oats or whatever, and that's like what Hollywood goes for. But like to actually have a gambling issue and like not be able to make rent or something like that, like yeah, that would cause some issues. So
Yeah. And like they showed it, like they didn't like shove it in your face. They showed them gambling, and then they showed like they were like working on finances. So
yeah, I liked that, because when they first showed him gambling, I thought it was gonna be like a whole another thing that they like to do to like drive couples apart, is like one's like too needy, right? And they're like, you can't have poker night. Like the standard is like
I thought that's what
poker
everyone's
night
gonna
with your
go.
boys. Yeah, and like how she's like super controlling and doesn't want him to do that. That's like the standard Hollywood trope, I feel like. And so I liked that it was actually like an addiction issue.
yeah,
Like something real. Something substance wise,
Right, yeah.
you know? Not just the standards.
yeah, they did a good job with that.
Yeah. So I guess at this point we're in the apartment. We still hate each other.
Yeah.
Artemis is falling apart in front of your eyes.
He did enjoy that frozen apple pie.
Holy shit, he scarfs that down. But at
Oh,
that
yeah.
point he had been throwing up a lot, right? So
Yeah.
he probably doesn't have a lot in his
I'm
system.
fairly certain he doesn't have intestines anymore.
Oh yeah. I thought so
I'm pretty
too.
sure he's melted on the inside at this point.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that was crazy. But he like scarfed it down. Like, sorry, I ate your whole frozen apple pie. At that point, it was probably a little bit thawed out, though.
I know.
Versus when
It
they were
didn't
trying to
look
eat it
very
the first
good.
time.
Yeah.
No, and like the girl Katie, she was like, I didn't think you like apple pie. As the James dude is eating it. Yes, their names are James and Katie.
Yeah.
It's the first time we've said them.
I said them for the synopsis.
Oh, you did. My
Yeah.
B.
It's the first time we're saying them. Yeah.
Now.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but I can relate to being picky. Okay, I'm a picky
Oh,
eater.
yeah.
So, like, but if it's a crisis, yeah, I'll eat that shit. Like, if I don't have to eat apple pie, I won't eat apple pie. Like, it's just not my jam.
Right.
But, like, if I think I might die and I need to eat something, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah. Well, and they had such a weird array, which I know I already touched on how realistic that is. But it was like, what, a can of beans and like an apple pie and like a couple bottles of water. Like, I was like...
Yeah.
I
Tim, I
don't
think
know.
you're better. Your fridge is better than ours.
Yeah.
But we were feeling this fridge problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ravenous for sure. So we run out.
Oh,
of
we
food
also
pretty quickly.
decided that you would have eaten the entire food supply in an hour.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. I also wouldn't stay there.
No.
Personally, in a radiation situation, knowing that there's not a lot of things that block radiation besides things like lead,
Yeah.
I'm probably leaving as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Like, not. I mean, I think a good rule of thumb, and I'm probably wrong on this, is if you're in the blast radius enough to where it like knocks you over, blasts your windows out, you're in a radiation zone. And, like, it's already there at that point, but getting further away from it is definitely the move. So I think the guy was right in that situation. But I would have grabbed all the food I could have and then bailed. But, yeah, if I'm there, I'm probably just going to eat it all because I know I'm not going to have intestines for much longer anyway.
Yeah. And they looked so bored. Like, they had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And Sam and I were like, oh, we have board games galore.
Yeah. We were like, if the Sugar household gets put on lockdown... Lols.
Like
we're
hard,
good because there are plenty of board games.
Yeah.
We won't survive food wise.
Oh no, we'll die from starvation.
You'll have entertainment though.
Yeah.
I can eat those cardboard pieces, right? That's a thing.
Right.
Fiber. Lots of
It's
fiber.
a lot of fiber.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that we lived in Florida for 4 or 5 years, and like one thing they always tell you is your toilet bowl water is drinkable, like the back of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like
So
the one thing
bowl.
the bowl, but yeah, the bowl is like less like there can be more depending on how often you clean it.
Yeah, it depends on being
Yeah.
cleaned and whatnot.
But yeah, like the back of it, I was just like, oh, they could have just been dipping it in there. But it was one thing that I was like, I wish they kind of showed that because like the guy already said he's lived through hurricanes. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of a nice little touch. But
Yeah.
they did a great job, like with showing like survival. Otherwise,
Yeah.
just one additional thing.
Yeah, and that brings up my note that, like, even if they would have, like, say it was, like, a hurricane as a disaster, even if they would have known, like, this is terrible, but there were plenty of times that, like, we knew that there was shit coming, and they tell you to fill your bathtub so you have water, they tell you to do this, that, and that, and, like, you do, like, half the prep, and you're like, yeah, it'll be fine. So, like, it was kind of like what we were saying earlier, where it's just, like, I mean, in the moment, you're not thinking about it, you're like, I mean, yeah, that's, like, best case, like, what you should have. Like, I can probably survive with less, you know?
Yeah.
And so I thought, like, it made sense that they wouldn't have thought to do those things, especially in this situation, because it wasn't even, like, something they knew was coming. But to touch on the radiation, again, that was kind of my question, was that when they went to go look for the pills, like, I was like, well, wouldn't the whole complex have already been, like...
Looted?
I was gonna say contaminated, so it's not like
It's
helpful
not
at
any
that
different.
point to get the pills. But I guess it slows it or something. I don't know. I don't know very much about that.
My question was, what about other people who are like they can't be the only ones that stayed,
Yeah.
right?
I wouldn't think so, but yeah, no, I definitely
Anyways.
wouldn't think so.
Anyways, I was just like, oh, she said she checked the whole building, but like for all we know, she just wanted him to shut up.
That's true. Yeah.
Like I checked like 4 places, just get over it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if that is like part of the radiation treatment or whatever, like that's a super specific thing to need.
What was it? Hernias?
It was for thyroid issues.
Thyroids. That's right.
Like, that seems, I mean, I don't know how rampant that issue is, but that seems really specific. It's not like you're like, oh, go get, like, calcium or, you know,
Vitamin D.
something that would be in most people's medicine cabinet.
Mhm.
It's like you're looking for a specific drug. So, I don't know. I kind of, when she went out to look for it, I was like, yeah, I get it. You kind of want to do your due diligence. But at the same time, like, I would be like, I doubt it's out there, you know?
Right.
So
Sam
it's
told
kind of a
me-
lost cause.
Sam told me that the biggest question on this is, are you able to actually have friends in your apartment complex?
Yeah, that was the most.
Like, is that allowed?
like, Like, that they knew the guy down the hall. I was like, that's the most unbelievable part to me. I've never made friends in my complex. I've tried so hard.
I think it's just kind of like they see him a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw people a lot, and we tried to say hi, and they
They would-
refused to say hi back.
They there was legitimately a couple guys in our apartment that they ignored our highs, and we're like, what the hell?
So fucking rude.
nah.
These people, man.
I know.
Can't be bothered to say hi to them. So I don't know. I guess we're not as friendly as the people in this movie or something. Something about us. You can't say hi to us.
I know. Yeah, I mean, you got that resting.
Bitch face. That's probably
Maybe
what it
that's the most unrealistic part of it, is that people like talk outside of their, I don't know, phones
Their
to
clicks?
each other. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they talk to other people in the world, like in movies, and in real life, it's like not like that anymore. I don't know.
is. Yeah.
You know how hard it is to make friends as an adult?
Oh, man.
Anyways, back into the movie. Did you guys survive the puking, or did you, like, kind of get a little upchuck in you, too?
No, I just when she first started, I was like, oh no, she's pregnant, knowing that, you know, she's just melting. And then when he started, I was like, oh no, he's pregnant, but he's also a man and melting on
I
the
like-
inside. So
They did bring up, like, oh, I don't even think I can have kids anymore. My uterus is gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, ouch. That's, like, a depressing, like, thought. Like,
Yeah.
the dude's is gone. Like, his is vaporized, too, so.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like that was a realistic conversation for the married couple.
Well,
as
yeah,
well.
like, for a... Well, they're still married, so I was about to change it to a divorced couple, but...
I mean, they're on their way to divorce, right? But they were clearly still at least a little bit attached,
Yeah.
which I thought was nice because, I don't know.
No, I agree. What did you think of their... I meant to ask you, Sam, what you thought of their apartment. Like, the size of it.
Oh, I thought it was bougie. For LA?
For bougie as hell.
Yeah.
That shit's gotta be expensive.
That was I mean, the apartment looked very big and knowing that it's LA, and then it was nicely decorated, so they had some nice furniture. But it wasn't like overly stocked, which I liked, because as a
They were house
married
poor.
couple, yeah, they were house poor basically. Like they only had like their one little couch in the living
Right,
room, and
didn't
I was
have
like,
much.
nice. I feel that.
Yeah. We have one couch.
Yeah. No, but it was a nice apartment.
I want to know if that was like, because this obviously was an indie film. I want to know,
Yes.
because they did a lot of things in this film that, A, it didn't feel like an indie film. It didn't feel like, I don't know what their budget was, but it didn't feel like they were working
Hey,
super low
we know
budget
that.
just because, what?
We know the number, but continue.
I
I'll tell you
figured, but like,
afterwards.
I don't know it. But I don't know, like, just the part where the bomb goes off and you can see, like, the reflection in his glasses. I thought that was clever. Instead of like
Yeah.
showing like a scene where they could have done like shoddy CGI and like they'd be like, oh no, it was good.
Zombies
I-
level.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say zombies.
I thought it was great, like showing his face and then showing like a reflection of like fire and stuff in it. That was a smart move. And like they seemed to really stay within, I don't want to say like a good budget range, but it was just like, it didn't feel like low budget or anything to me. It felt like a
Yeah.
well put together movie. And it like, I was surprised at first just by the filming in general and kind of the acting, but I don't know. I liked a lot of the choices they did, a lot of the stuff. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What would you?
I can't say
What would
anything
you
else.
guess
I'm
the
losing
budget
my
at?
thought. Do what?
What would you guess the budget at?
Well, so that was my next part, was like, was that one of their apartments? Like, is that somebody that worked on the film? Was it one of their apartments?
It was not.
Really?
It's a soundstage. They
Interesting.
built it.
Oh, they built it. Okay. Well, then even then, I mean, that's probably not going to cost as much if they built it. Like, probably costs half as much as it would, maybe less than, I don't know, going somewhere and using somebody else's equipment and stuff. But
Yeah, it was. So one of the producers did a question and answer section, Landon Thorne. After we watched this, he said that the budget was $77,000, and I was like, "Damn, how much was Avengers Endgame?" I know they're completely different.
Completely
realms.
different.
Right.
You have to
Different
think about-
realms,
Yeah.
I know. But like you see a big that's like a big budget film versus small budget.
right.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of fun. I just like to do apples and oranges sometimes. But yeah, he was saying that, like, what was it? The contemporary clothing. Sam, you said you found that very interesting.
Oh, yeah. They said, so for their costuming, they said it's a lot harder to nail a contemporary wardrobe because everyone in the audience is an expert in contemporary clothing, right? Because, like,
it's
we all,
current, what we're
we
wearing
all
now.
wear it, right?
Right.
And they said the other issue is, like, so the dude was wearing a white shirt the whole time, right?
Mhm.
And so, like, the costuming part is that you have to, like, slowly degrade it.
Yeah.
And you don't want, like, the stark white t-shirt from the beginning to pop up in the middle of the film, right? When you're already, like, dirty and stuff. Like, that
Right.
would be... So they had to, like, really pay attention to the clothing. And to me, I mean, it's great to hear because, like, that's not stuff I really think about, right? You don't think that, like... oh, this movie that's set in current times would have a hard time.
Would have a harder, more difficult time.
Yeah. And then, like, to think about, like, yeah, well, we probably would have noticed it if the stark white t-shirt came
Most
back.
likely, yeah.
Yeah, so,
I
like...
actually noticed it degrading.
Yeah, and so I was, like, I was glad to hear, like, kind of the process and the attention to detail that gets put into it, because it's like, well, you really don't notice it unless they fuck it up, right?
Yeah.
And so, like... I thought it was nice to hear the back end process because you can kind of applaud the fact that, like, they didn't fuck it up. It looked really good, right?
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, in terms of the budget, like, I don't know. I was shocked to hear it was a soundstage personally, like, because it looked
so real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It didn't look like, but I don't know. I've never really been good about identifying sets, so maybe other people would be like, yeah, I could tell. But, like, I don't know. I thought it looked like they just borrowed somebody's house, or like you said, like, you know, somebody else might have said that it's like, it's really easy to get a housing location. Pro tip for all you filmers, just ask real estate agents in the area and they'll give you an empty house that you can film in. So
Like, you can stage the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, those are things that, like, you don't think about, right? Because, like, you think that you need a buddy's house or something, but I mean, if there's an empty house on the market, like, maybe give that a try.
That's
So
what one of the guys did in the at the festival.
yeah, so I don't know. I thought that was funny because you can see how, you know, they don't need a big budget to accomplish, like, really good stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you don't notice that, I don't know, it didn't feel indie, as we said. That's all. That was a really long way to say that.
Yeah. Sam's roundabout.
Well, and I know that we've complained in the past about hair looking shitty.
Or hair looking too good.
Well, yeah, hair looking too good, so it ends up being shitty, and I liked that her hair degraded. Like, it was getting frizzier as it went on, and I was
It's the
like,
radiation.
yes! Yeah, definitely. No, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. She's not looking like a model by day whatever. And that's the other thing that I liked about this film. I think a lot of times they put a timestamp on it for you. Like, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And, like... this film didn't do that, so I knew it had been a while.
I thought it was only 48 hours.
I think it went past 48 hours, though.
It might have.
Because they were like, her grandma complained about it, right? And then they were like, okay, it'll take 48 hours. But for some reason, I thought we had passed the 48-hour point because they had said something like, it's been a while. I don't know. I kind of liked that the timing was ambiguous, basically.
Yeah.
And we didn't have stark, like... points that was like day 1, day 5.
That always
day
kind of
10.
breaks up a film for me. It just
Yeah.
it's distracting. So
Yeah, that's what I
agree.
was thinking.
It depends on the film. Some films I love it. Some films I might stop.
I think it helps immerse you in the situation, like, because it would be very easy for them if you're not if you have a weird sleep pattern and, like, I don't know, to, like, kind of lose track of time.
And I gotta say one thing. Now, Tim, back me up on this. I would not have candles in my house. Like,
What do you?
Do you have
do you have
Yankee
any
candle
candles?
obsession, Tim?
I
Like,
like
do you have
candles.
candles?
I do like candles.
Okay.
And we do have a few. I'm just trying to make like a real quick head count. We probably, I mean, if we were to spread it out, we could probably cover every room with at least like 2.
So you're
Oh,
on their
wow.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, they're just burning like 4 candles at once. I'd be sitting there like, okay, we've got 1 candle at a time, period.
And we have lots of matches, so yeah.
We have a shitload of matches, but I inherited my grandpa's match collection.
Yeah.
So I do have a lot of those at least.
I kind of started collecting them on my own at one point. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I remember that because we collect in Charleston. I think you grabbed some
Yeah.
and you were excited.
Yeah. Matches are cool. I don't know why.
We established that Tim likes fire from in an earlier episode.
So then we should have known he would have the candles.
Tim, we clearly have no notes.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Let's see here. It seems like at some point I just kind of stopped taking notes.
I do that in a lot of movies. I feel like
I wrote down. So I can't remember. Have you guys seen The Mist?
No.
All right, I won't do that one then. Well, okay. I'll just say I was.
I know it. I know of it.
Okay, I was just gonna be like,
ridiculousness.
at one point I had a thought that this is gonna be like The Mist, some bullshit, because like they were gonna kill each other basically, like off,
Oh,
and
we
then-
didn't
Yeah.
say that.
And I was like, this is gonna end up being like The Mist, like out of nowhere. But yeah,
I was dying from laughter when she missed the shot.
I don't
Yeah.
think she missed. I think she pulled so she didn't shoot him.
Yeah, probably.
That's how
but-
I interpreted
Either
it.
way.
Because she was completely aiming like to the side of him at that point.
Yeah, it was funny. I did notice that like he held the gun very like. I felt like he knew how to hold a gun.
No.
No, he didn't. Okay.
That's actually a no. Yeah, he probably has a little experience, or I don't know. Somebody probably showed him how to hold it that way because it's called the teacup, or at least it's like a slang term for how he was holding it. It's not really
Okay.
ideal to hold it that way, but that is a method that people do. Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe that kind of works perfectly because he's a band member, not
Yeah.
not somebody who goes around like he uses a gun often. So like it's kind of like it looks. That's what you see in movies. They hold the
Right.
hand under the gun like that. So like maybe he saw it in movies. Like yeah,
That too. Yeah.
Yeet.
I'm just trying to get into mind of the character, not the actor.
Right.
In
Yeah.
this case, but yeah, I just thought it was funny that she missed the shot. I was like,
Or-
ha,
I
or didn't hit him.
Yeah, I took that as like she, at the last second, decided not to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was happy they both lived in question marks, quotes and
I
questions.
don't think they did, but
They survived the
Whoa.
film.
yeah,
Let's say they survived.
I don't know that if you get to the point where you're throwing up like that, if you can survive. I don't know.
I don't either.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, I guess I liked where they ended it, like, because I don't think it would have been as satisfying if they had shot themselves. It would have been like a completely different,
It would have been a whole different feel vibe.
same-ish
for
vibe. Yeah, but it just would have been a different direction. And I liked that they kind of like end it with like her finger twitching because like you know that they're still alive at that point.
Yeah.
And I think it would be totally unrealistic, like we were talking about, to then like they get rushed to the hospital with like a bunch of other people and like they presumably live happily ever after. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't, I don't know, that wouldn't fit. So I liked that they kind of left it as like, yeah, they survived, but you kind of know that like their time is numbered.
Right.
Yeah.
But I did have one note in my head on one of the quotes that I thought was hilarious
You
when
remember one?
they were like, they were talking about if they thought the event was widespread or whatever. And like, she was like, well, what if like Kenosha, Wisconsin is gone? And then he's like, who's gonna fucking bomb Kenosha, Wisconsin? And they started laughing and I was just like, yes. That was great.
That would be a conversation we would have
Yeah,
had.
like approve of this dialogue.
Tim, you got anything else?
No. I mean, I didn't think she was getting up when she was laying on the bed, but I'm surprised she did. I thought she was too far gone, but
Yeah.
other than that,
True.
no, I don't.
Okay. I'll get into the cast then. It's a quick cast. There are only 3 actors really.
Yeah.
I don't count all the. I did not write Antonio's name down. Sorry, Antonio.
Oh, poor
But
Antonio.
James was played by Justin Gaston.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And if you guys really need to binge something, he's in a couple of series that are super bingeable.
Okay.
The Young and Restless and Days of Our Lives.
Wow.
I'm setting you up for thousands of episodes. He's in like 14 episodes
He
of The Young and
seems
Restless.
super young.
They still are going on.
Oh, that's true. They like rotate out the cast.
Yeah, and there's like 24 episodes of Days of Our Lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
The modern day Joey.
Huh.
Joey.
Joey from Friends.
Yeah.
I know who
He's
you're
on like a
talking
soap
about.
opera.
Oh, yes, that.
Or the modern day Bruce Willis, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, he's in those, and those are very long. Very, very long. He's also in a movie called Until We Meet Again. So, that's kind of cool.
I mean, not to shit on anyone in particular, but I am kind of shocked because I feel like soap opera stars are like over the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Acting, and he just felt like he could be in anything. Like he was really good.
Wasn't ER considered one, right?
Yeah, I
And
think
George
so.
Clooney was the main character for a long time?
I know. As I was like doing that,
You
I
knew
was
I'd call you
thinking
out on
about
it,
all the
right?
people that got famous off of soap operas and aren't shitty actors. But there's a lot that are also shitty actors. That's all
I don't know
say.
if they're shitty actors. I think they're just they're directed to be
They're
over
They're meant to
the
be
top.
over the top. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a
Yeah.
weird acting style to me, but or a
Yeah.
choice. I don't know.
All right. We got Katie now. Katie was played by Jessica Renee Russell. She was in Cassandra's French's Finishing School.
Okay.
Donnie, and then this is the best one. She was in the Full Metal Alchemist anime movie
What?
Why?
as a couple additional voices.
Oh.
Yeah. I got really excited
I
too.
know.
And then I was like, additional voices. And I was like, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, like okay.
Right? And then Artemis is played by Christopher Michael Watson. He did voice acting in Resident Evil 2 and 3.
Oh, look at him.
I've not played those games too much, so I didn't recognize his character's name.
I only really played the 5th.
So Tim wouldn't have either.
Yeah.
But he was also in The Man from Outer Space, which I will get to in about now. The director was Ben Hall.
Yeah.
So Ben Hall is a Biff alum, which is, again, Beaufort International Film Festival. He did The Man from Outer Space.
Whoa.
I know. And then another one he did was Sergeant Townsend.
Okay.
So the producer, Landon Thorne, was apparently very interested in how Ben Hall did his spacesuit.
Yeah.
So they ended up getting talking, and that's kind of how that connection was made.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
We learned this all of 24 hours ago. Yeah, so it's kind of cool to find out, sometimes filmmakers meet each other at these festivals, and they're like, yes, let's do something together.
Right. I mean, it makes sense though. Like, I would think that happens quite often, honestly.
Oh, yeah. It's got to happen all the time. And then I'm going to blow your mind. He was Ben Hall was also an additional crew member on Lady Bird
Nice.
and The Lion King, like the new
Huh.
one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at him.
He apparently, didn't they say that he has deals, he's supposed to be working on a feature for Amazon Prime now?
Yeah, I think he's hooked into Amazon somehow. Like he works on stuff for them. So that's, I think, how he got the distribution for this
Yes.
film.
That's how, he
which
ended
is
up
why
being
it's
able to
available.
do that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he is from Beaufort. I think he could be. I know he's a Biff alum. I don't know if he's a was ex-Beaufort. He lives in LA now, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. But I guess he has a reputation for, the past films that he's submitted have had very low budgets, like $5,000
Yeah.
budgets. And he's known for, his ingenuity at, what he can pull off at those budgets. So I thought that was kind of cool
Yeah.
to hear because it's well, then what can he do with,
That's, yeah.
some
Yeah.
dope budgets, you know?
Which is what the producer said. Now,
Yeah.
the producer does live in Beaufort, actually.
Yeah.
So,
So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll get to the
Film
critics.
Fest tidbits.
Yeah, no. I'll get to the ratings that we have. We only have 2 of them.
Okay.
The audience from Rotten Tomatoes has given this a 17%.
Wow.
And then IMDb has it at a 4.5 out of 10.
Wow.
So I felt like that was very, very, very low. Very low. And I didn't agree with it because, I will go ahead and say I would flip this on. I thought it was a fun film. Well, fun is the wrong
I
word.
was like, you thought it was fun?
Woo!
Alright.
Did we watch the
I
same
know.
film?
I enjoy watching people die of radiation poisoning. Fun facts, guys. No, that's it. I enjoyed the film. I would flip it on and be like, oh yeah, you should go watch this. It was a good movie, sort of deal. I shouldn't say like, oh yeah, it was a fun film. That was the wrong word.
No, I know. We were just joshing.
But yeah, what'd you guys think those ratings, Sam?
Well, I will say I too would flip it on, and I thought those ratings were very low. But I will say that like this was the first movie we have seen in a theater in like a year, and I thought that like this was like a nice pick to see in a theater personally. Like, you know, some movies are better in the theater. They feel more tense. You can tell people are into it.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest complaint about this movie, it seems like, was that it was boring. And so I do wonder, which we'll get to you, I'll kind of segue it to you, Tim, with this. Like, did it feel as tense at your home, like on Amazon? Or were there times where it did lose your focus and you found yourself playing on your phone? Like, I'm just curious if, like, people just really can't sit and watch a movie anymore. Or if maybe it was just the fact that, like, we were in a theater that amped up the intensity.
I wouldn't use intense or anything. I would use more of like, again, the concept was interesting to me because it was different, and I didn't find myself being distracted on this one.
Yeah.
I watched this one alone, and I don't know. I feel like those ratings that were given were low for it because I would not have found I didn't find it boring, and I just liked how it was unique, and I honestly. If I wasn't told that it was an indie film, if I had just been scrolling through Amazon, I found that, and I was just like, huh, and I watched it, I wouldn't have known better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have known it was indie.
There was a few points where I might have thought about it, like the scene I talked about, how they showed, like, his glasses and stuff, and, like, I was kind of expecting a flash of, like, the city, but knowing it's indie, it's like, you're like, oh, that's why they didn't, they went a different route, save some money there. And I thought that was a smart choice. That's probably where I would have been like, this is a lower budget film.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't know. I'm not with the people that say it was boring. I can see why they would say that, but sitting at home watching it, it just seemed like a interesting movie. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a slow burn. I'll give them that.
Right.
Yeah.
But slow burns are slow burns. Like, if you...
Yeah, I
it
mean,
is what it
if
is.
If you read that synopsis, like you can't be expecting an action movie. I don't know what you're
right. Yeah,
expecting
like
at that
they're
point.
stuck in the apartment.
Right. Like, are you expecting that one movie that's in the phone booth the whole time or whatever? Like, that was intentionally like an actiony type movie, and he's in the phone booth. Like,
yeah. And I mean, like, First Cow, would you expect that to be an intense movie? I'm sure people called that boring too, and it was a slow burn.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I just...
yeah, I think the big complaints were it was boring because they had to watch the couple, like, bitch at each other. And I'm like, but we've set up the characters to have a conflict, so I don't know. That to me felt more realistic that they would be acting that way, so...
Exactly. It was, I don't know.
So people are stupid.
I think it would have been boring if they were people that, like, were friendly with each other, because then they would have had to have create more conflict, whereas the conflict was already kind of there, and they can kind of nitpick on it.
Yeah.
Or bring up, like, things, like, from their past that we didn't know about, but they would start bickering about it, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it, because they're, getting divorced. But...
Were you surprised that they didn't fuck?
No.
So Sam and I were like, if this was like Hollywood, oh yeah, they would have been banging.
They would have, yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
So fast.
And I feel like that, again, would not have been realistic for the characters.
Right.
So,
or the situation
I don't know.
at all. Like,
yeah.
They
were
both
getting
feel
a
like
divorce.
shit.
You want one
like,
last romp?
what are they going to do? Like, oh, we're both going to die. Let's go out on a bang. Like,
yeah,
I don't
feel
think, like, that's not realistic to me. Like,
no.
I know, but I feel like that's what a lot of movies would have done in this situation.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't agree with the people that said that it was, like, boring and, like, they didn't like necessarily that they were, like, bitching at each other. So, I wanted to get to that without, like, having to bias you one direction or the other, because I was just curious. So, I'm glad to hear that we all have brains.
So, wait, Tim, would you flip it on?
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
I think it's good.
Nice.
Look at us, 3 flip it ons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, yeah, flip it on if you want to catch an indie film and be like, this is indie? What?
Right?
Yeah.
Or like, if you enjoy watching people puke, you can flip it on for that.
Oh my god, so much puking.
There's like at least 4 or 5 scenes where you can watch someone puke. What else we got here, Sam? If you like nuclear explosions, flip it on.
Yeah, I was gonna say like disaster movies.
Shit falling off your walls. Our old when the explosion went off, all of their artwork came crashing down.
Oh yeah.
Which I was just laughing because in our old place we had so much up. Everything would have just been everywhere.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah, but yeah. Flip it on if you like watching stuff fall. That happens for about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall good movie. Glad I watched it at Beaufort International Film Festival.
Yeah, and I would just put a plug out there that like I feel like sometimes indie films get a bad rep of like, you know, they have a tiny budget, so it comes off that they have a tiny budget, and
Right.
I mean we've definitely watched some of those.
Yeah, and
I just want to say that like I don't know, I feel like you should give this one a try because I don't know, it doesn't feel indie, and there are plenty of indie films that don't feel indie, you know, in quotation marks. Like
yeah,
I
it's
think
like 78 minutes.
yeah, it's not too
It's a
it's
shorter
not
movie.
dragging out. Like I thought the
Right.
pacing was well. So I don't know. I just think people should maybe like give indie another shot if you're like, oh, I only watch Christopher Nolan films.
Yeah, that's the thing about indie films. Like, if you go into an indie film and you, I don't know, expect a giant budget, that's your fault. Like, if you're expecting that kind of shit, like, that's your own fault. If you don't
Get outta
like it
here.
because of that, go watch something else. I don't know. I don't know what else to say to that.
Then your opinion is wrong, and I hate you.
Yes, and if you watch it and you think that it's boring, can you please DM us? Like, I'm not going to attack you. I just really want to know what you think is boring about it, because I just feel like your opinion is wrong and I hate
Yeah.
you.
Wow.
But I just want to know. I want to know. I don't think that that's grounded in any reality, but,
Right.
you know, I'm interested into hearing your crazy. But yeah, that was a long-winded way to say that we liked this movie, but,
Yeah.
you know, that's what happens when we don't have notes, okay?
I
Spur of
know.
the moment conversation.
All right, bye.
See you.